Okay. It should register us being live here in just a moment. Is that on right? It might be on right. I feel like the seam should be sideways though. I mean, we wear this one all the time and suddenly I can't remember how to put it on. Okay. Alright. Hello. It is art day and we are actually starting on time for a change. It's a miracle. Was that you?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, sorry, just making sure we didn't have a cleanup on aisle cat. Alright, y'all. We're back to needle felting. Yay! Fun and exciting projects over here. Hope everyone's weekend's been good. We had some more rain last night. They said we might, and the past few times they said we might, nothing happened, so I wasn't really expecting it. So I didn't make Russell move the car, and don't you know, it ended up storming after he had fallen asleep, and I'm like, shit. And then they started putting up special weather statements, and I'm like, right, probably should have had him move the car back to the carport, because it was not in there. So, this is where we left off last week. We are following the Bob Ross painting tutorial from Season 3, The Joy of Painting. Episode 3, Babbling Brook. I keep wanting to say... No, it's Bubbling Stream. I keep wanting to call it, Babbling. I don't know why. I've got a serious mental block against that. But there is the link. Bubbling Stream. So if you want to watch the tutorial in its full, because we're not going to be trying to keep up with Bob, that's not going to happen. This process is a lot slower than painting with actual paint. So it takes a little bit longer. And I'm not even going to attempt to keep up with him because there's no way. We wouldn't even finish our sky by the time he was done the tutorial the first time. So if you want to go and watch that at your leisure in full, feel free. There's the link. I do have the sound muted on the tutorial, so if we do end up hitting play today on that, we're not going to hear anything. So again, there's the link for you if you want to watch it in full. Disclaimer, I hurt my arm. I don't know how. Well, I know what I was doing when I hurt it, but I pulled something in my forearm. Don't know what. It is visibly swollen over in here. Not sure. I was fluffing the new yarn. This new yarn's out to get me, I swear. Fluffing the new yarn, having a great time, and all of a sudden, ow, in my forearm. And I'm like, what the heck just happened? And then trying to grip the fluffy brush hurt pretty bad, so I had to stop for the night on that. The next morning, I was just thinking, oh, it's just a cramp or I just pulled something. No big deal. The next morning, I got up and I didn't really think about it for most of the day until I went to do the dishes, and then it definitely let me know it was still there, and I was like, oh, okay. And so like I made it through Friday's Planet Zoo stream without a problem. Went to do the dishes last night. Like it was a little sore throughout the day yesterday, but not terribly so. And went to go do the dishes last night and suddenly was reminded that it's still there. I got through the dishes and I did actually get like 2 balls of yarn, not fully fluffed, but I got a little bit of yarn fluffed off of 2 colors last night before I had to stop. And I was too much discomfort. And I was like, yeah, no, that, and I needed to go to bed. But, yeah, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know how long today's art stream is going to go. So, you know, we'll see. I haven't tried to needle fluff yet. This could be like a 5-minute stream. So we'll see what happens. Now, this is where we left off. We had got the base of the sky in, and we started filling in, doing a quick second layer, just, you know, filling in all the gappies and things, and just making sure we didn't have any of our yellow shining through. So, we're gonna keep going with that. And we are using cornflower blue for our sky on this one. I'll tell you, using scissors is really, like, I don't get sharp pain, it's just a really deep ache. That's tough right now. Quite a bit. Alright, I do want to put a little bit here. Just because that kind of felt like a bit of a divot there, so. I mean, we're gonna have trees coming up over this, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem. That's probably what I was thinking last week, or I just ran out of time last week. I don't know. But we'll just do a quick fill in here. Now, you can use roving to do this. Traditionally, that's what people use. But you can also use acrylic yarn, and my budget said, girl, acrylic yarn. So that's what we're doing. And it's working out pretty good. We've done 2 tutorials so far from this season. And I think it's going pretty good. Alright. So we do have a bit of yellow here on our edge still. So let's work on getting that filled in. I don't know if we're having stream tomorrow yet, you guys. It depends on my arm, and it's also husband's birthday, so I don't know if we're doing anything yet. So make sure that you're following on Twitter, because if we end up canceling any stream, I will post there. Because sometimes I run terribly behind, and we don't always start when we're supposed to. Sometimes we start a half an hour to an hour late. It depends on what the heck's going on and the reason for me being late. So yeah, I hope everybody had a good weekend. Productive, relaxing, whatever you wanted it to be. I hope it was. Sorry, just making sure that that was not yellow poking through there. Don't think it is. Alright, so my finger's not really putting that much pressure down on this. I'm just kind of using that to sort of keep that fiber flat in there, just so we can see what the heck we're doing. Now this edge might be a little tricky since I'm at a bit of an angle here. I feel like we may probably more than likely felted that very edge to the mat. We'll find out in a minute here. I mean, for certain, we definitely will, but, if you hear a cat meowing in the background, Peabody's being chatty for some reason. Not much I can do about that, so you're just gonna have to be serenaded by Peabot, who has graced us with his presence today. Lately he's been hanging out in the hallway. I haven't seen one of the cats in a couple of days. I'm not sure where he is. Like, I'm sure he's fine. Our paths just haven't crossed. He's probably in either the laundry room or the parents' room. I'm sure someone has seen him. You've seen Ed, right?
Yeah, I just went and combed him.
Oh, okay. Where was he?
He's in your parents' room. He's finding new places to hide.
Hmm.
Do I really have to open this up for you? Yeah, I do. Okay.
Is Nom Nom's out there? Is that what it is? He wants to look out?
I have no idea. All I know is that he desperately wants to look out the window, and he keeps pawing at it and meowing and flipping around and shit. Let me just...
I saw that you had clipped the blanket to the blind. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because Cal's a bit of a brat in the morning.
There you go. How's that?
Alright. Oh, scissors. Okay. I really should just grab smaller amounts of fluff to begin with, but to avoid needing the scissors. Alright, so next bit of fluff here. So if you don't anchor the end, and you don't have to, that might be what's causing some splits in the color as I'm putting it down. It'll just suck all of it towards one end, so I'm fine with him meowing if you're trying to calm him for that. I don't know if he's bugging you or not.
He's bugging me a little too, but if you're okay, I won't care as much.
No, it's alright. I've accepted the fact that he's just gonna be a meowy brat today. Because I don't know what he wants. He just gets in these moods where he's just gonna meow for hours on end incessantly. He has food, he has water. And he was getting all sorts of attention earlier. He just... Nom Noms must be outside because he's digging the window now. The scritchy hip-hop rap album noise in the background is Peabot scratching against the window. Like, literally digging his way through the glass. So I don't know what his deal is. I don't know if the outside cat that has decided it lives here to make all of the world feel bad that he's sitting outside our front door when someone drives by in the middle of the night. We're not cruel, heartless people. He's not our cat. We do not own him. We never saw him till a couple of months ago. We don't know if he's someone's outdoor cat. We don't know if his family moved away and left him outside. No idea. But he thinks he lives here now. We also have a few other critters that seem to think they live here. What?
He's playing with the tail of her stingray. You little shit.
He's just in a mood. Alright, just making sure that we're filled in there. A little harder to tell when you've got the lighter colors. Like, I keep seeing little hints of green, which is why I'm like, not like bright green, but just like little suggestions of maybe a slight hue of green. But, no, I think we're okay, because we're going to have the trees coming up. We're not going to see a whole lot of, that. All right. So school has started back up in this area. I think the college may have started back too. I think. But who else is playing with something? Or is that his tail hitting something?
That's his tail hitting something.
No, it sounded like it came from a different direction. He is all wound up today. It must have been the rain. Getting everybody all kerfluffled. Man, we had a few hours worth of thunderstorms last night. I was trying to stay up through the one because the special weather statement had a tag on it that storm may intensify, and I was like, oh, well, I don't want the phone ringing and waking up the whole house if it's just for wind. So, I mean, if the hail suddenly jumps up, then I'll have to go wake up Russell to move the car real quick, but that didn't happen. It was just loud, and oh, the lightning. That was some vicious, vicious lightning. It whited out our security camera a couple times, to where I thought like there was a lightning strike across the street or something. Wasn't, but had the camera up, keeping an eye on what it looked like outside. I do think it started our internet at one point, because I remembered I was watching something and the sound just kind of stopped, and I was like, what now? I was like, what's happening here? But fortunately, that seemed to move on slowly but quickly at the same time. So yeah, I mean, you can see how it looks a little aqua-y, a little slightly turquoisey from the other, from the blue and the goldy felt base mixing together. Give me 1 second here. Allergies. Yay. No, not really. Allergies have been tough the past couple of days. Well, the past couple of months, really. I had one day where I was pretty good and didn't even really think about them. And that was short-lived, though. can't tell if those scissors don't want to cut suddenly because I'm using them strangely, or if, you know, I should probably get the snips out. And those might be a little more comfortable since I can use my whole hand on those instead of my thumb. So yeah, we're just coming back over, doing a second pass real quick. Just want to make sure that we've got any of the yellow shining through covered up. Since when we put the base of the blue in, I was definitely trying to get through that fairly quickly. So I need a little bit more in there, and that's fine. So I do have the warrior ready for Wednesdays, no, Thursday, excuse me, haha, for Thursday's WoW Challenges stream. I still need to work on the shaman. I don't think I'm gonna have time to work on that tonight, so I was gonna have to wait till tomorrow. Because I've got all sorts of things I have to do tonight. Making the husband cookies, and then we need to potentially, if he's feeling up to it, try to help one of the coders for WoW Challenges test something. Unfortunately, what we need to test I think we have to get to level 10 before we can even attempt it, so oh, excuse me. Don't tell me I've got the hiccups now. Like, really? Sure, that's what we need today. Let's throw the hiccups on top of it. Oh my goodness. Okay. See, this section's all nice and, well, it's flatter. I don't know why it's suddenly flatter there, but it is. Alright, and again, I just do that just to make sure that we're looking okay on the front, because, you know, sometimes we get some little dips and valleys, and doing that fixes that to a degree, or at least kind of re-smooths out the front. And then I can see if we, oh, let's not drop that. And then I can see if we have any spots that need a little bit more attention. Now this is the sky again that we are working on. Now if this had been like a cream or some sort of neutral tone, like maybe a light gray or something, I might have left a little bit of the background poking up through, just to see what it would look like, but at the same time that might be like the lazy way out. So, but if that's how you want it to look and you want to treat that as like little light reflections, or, you know, potentially wispy clouds, that's fine if that's what you are going for. So see, it'll just kind of eat up your fluff pretty quick if you don't have at least a tiny, gentle weight on there. Like, you don't want to be pushing it down with all of your might, just gently sitting. I think we need to hit that spot right in there one more time. I mean, maybe not. Like, I can't guarantee that there's going to be a tree sitting over that, though, so... I mean, there could be. It's certainly possible. So, husband took some nails and put them in the wall for me. And we ran some nylon rope that we had gotten. I think we had gotten it to fix the wind chimes and then realized that the holes on the wind chimes were way too small for it. And so we ran that between the nails, and now I sort of have like my own little wall of sandwich Ziploc bags full of fluff. Well, some of those bags, some of those colors could be topped off a bit, but I figured I would get that the next time we need them. Kind of sounds like a helicopter. Thump, 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 thump. Not exactly, but kinda. Alright, so I think we need maybe another piece right here. And I'm thinking also maybe right in here. So let's grab a little bit of floof. I mean, you don't have to like roll it into a snake. That's just something I've gotten in the habit of doing because I find I can control it a little bit better. So again, totally up to you. Alright. So it's been pretty overcast today. I don't know if it rained anymore. I was still sort of awake around 8 this morning, so I had a small nap in. I don't know what it was, just couldn't sleep. I wasn't really tired. That and my arm was bugging me. I was having a hard time getting comfy. Tried icing it because it was swelling. Didn't feel like it did much. So we're probably going to try the heating pad a little bit later on low for a few minutes, and if that starts to feel really bad, then we'll just go back to ice and just fucking figure it out. It's hard when it's your dominant hand, though. I will say that. Just making sure I didn't have any other fluff that I pulled off that I had lost track of. Because, you know, it happens. So let's get this one in here. So I mean, if you wanted to go for like a 3D effect, like you totally could. It'll be fuzzy, but I mean, if you just want to like seal down all of the edges, that's a look that you could attempt. If you're trying to get like a slightly different texture in there, or just trying to make something in particular jump out a little bit. We're just kind of stabbing on through. I'm using a small gauge needle. I'm using a single one. This is in a handle. I have like a little L hook on the end when they're not in the handle. I think this needle might be slightly bent, but I'm okay with that. Hasn't broken and it's not bent so badly that we can't use it. I think it's just ever so slightly curved. Or it's just my vision and an optical illusion. Alright, so now next we're gonna fill in this section here and re-hit that edge there. As best we can. One second. I just realized I forgot to do something. So I'm gonna drop the tutorial just for a moment. There we go. All right. Okay. So now, let's see about getting our next coat here, next layer. Worked in here. I don't know if you could needle felt a coat for dolls, but like I would only do it for small dolls. Like a coat that you could take on and off. I mean, I'm sure you can needle felt one on that doesn't come off. The arms would be a little tricky though. I don't know how that would work. But, you know, you could probably do a vest or something. And then just kind of get a piece of fabric for the backing maybe. Still want to see if I can needle felt some pins. Thank you, Loud Vehicle, for being part of today's stream. I just... A, I haven't had the time to look into it, and B, I haven't gotten to that particular shade of pink to fluff it yet. We had picked up 17 new colors of yarn, and now that I've gone and injured myself, I don't know how well that's gonna go. I mean, I could kind of fluff it last night, but it was very uncomfortable. But tonight I'm gonna not have time to really fluff anything, so. But we've got some lovely new colors. And I realized there's like 2 shades of brown that I want. Or that I should probably have. As well, but you know, we'll save that for Christmas shopping. Alright, so that's gonna need a little bit more attention here in spots. Let me grab. Hi Momo, I don't have any food, bud. I'm sorry. I don't have any snackies. Ow. Alright. Let's see about using the snips. These might feel a little... Did he just whine?
Probably.
Do you want me to take him?
No, give me a second.
Like, I never injure my non-dominant... Well, no, that's not true. I think I have injured my non-dominant side, like, twice, but... I swear, the temperature cooled down a little bit and all of the animals have lost their minds. Momo has this prancy gait. Even when he's walking, he prances like a damn show pony, and I'm just like, dude. I've never seen a dog that literally prances as much as he does. Alright. Alright. So let's flip this back over. I mean, we're not doing too bad here. So where are we? We're up to about here. So fill this in again. And again, I might just be doing overkill here because we're going to have the trees coming in. But at the same time, I don't really know the exact tree placement. And I don't really want that to dictate where my trees need to be necessarily. Alright, yeah, we got a little spot in there that we're gonna have to adjust, I think. But I'd rather do the adjustment now, where, you know, get it as I'm seeing it, than have to worry about coming back and getting it later when it's might be way more difficult. Oh, I don't know what's going on outside, but it sounds like the outside cat might be trying to come in. What's the matter?
He can't make up his mind. That plus he decided to try to eat the cat food out there.
Is he just hungry?
I'm starting to think so. He wants food that's not dog food apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, he wants goodies.
Oh.
You want a treat. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, hang on.
He's such a brat. I swear. Like, I can't tell if this is just... What is this? Like, is this yellow poking through, or is this just the shade of the felt mixing in with all of the fiber? It's probably going to be the last time I touch up that spot for now. I mean, if I have to come back and retouch it, I have to come back and retouch it, but... I mean, it is 4:30, so I guess they're like, it's dinner time.
I'm sorry, you said you have your...
I have the pizza from yesterday. I'm good. I have leftovers. We made pizza last night, and Russell had a food moment, so he couldn't eat his. I mean, we have this jagged edge here, but... Or like, where the yellow's poking through. I think we're okay there. Alright. So I have this turned on its side just to be a little bit easier for me to reach it, especially with my arm being messed up right now. I'm actually surprised this isn't bothering me more. Like this we can do. But it's when I start doing open and closey thingies with my hand that my arm starts to get really pissy. So, yeah, we've got some vacancies happening over here. I feel like I had another piece of fluff in my hand, but I don't see it, so maybe we used it. It's possible we did, and I just wasn't paying attention. Alright, so where we be? We be right about in here. Work on getting that one tapped in there. All right. Yeah, I'll be excited once I get all this, or I'm excited to get all this fluff, this yarn fluffed, or at least get, you know, a decent amount fluffed of each color. 'Cause then we can really sit down and start playing with the new colors. I probably should have picked up another brown. I had one in my shopping cart, and then sales tax and shipping got tacked on and I had to take it out, so I was kind of bummed about that, but that's okay. That is all good. Alright. And we do have a few things up in the Etsy shop. So we still have our Bobby Ross magnets that we painted. So those are still available, some of them. Those we painted live following some of the tutorials. And we also have a couple of our needle felting projects up over there. As well. Alrighty. That's not bad. Alright, now. Next section. That spot still looks a little thin right there. That's fine. Like I said, if there's any spots that you think are too thin and you can see your background color poking up through, go ahead and just do another bit of fluff on top. It's your brainchild. So you do with it what you wish. Oh goodness, 15 minutes, and we haven't made it very far, have we? So that's still, let's not point that at our face. That's still a little thin in there. I'm trying to not get too far ahead of myself so I don't lose track of where we've been here or where we still kind of need to go. Little bits. She's another one that's been really full of it the past like 48 hours. Driving me nuts. we have a foam mattress, but it's not, it transfers motion. It's not a good one. It was a cheaper one. And we've also had it for a few years now, so it was better at the motion transfer, or at the non-motion transfer when we first got it, but it's a few years old now. And we're not exactly stick figures, so I haven't seen my stick figure self in quite some time. Probably when I was like, probably before we got married, so I was still in my early 20s. But so the motion transfers pretty heavily now, and the other night, every time I started to fall asleep, she did something weird, and she like either leapt onto the end of the bed or like jumped up and was trying to stalk one of the other cats or something. I don't know. She was just full of it. And it seemed like she was constantly just jolting the bed or something. Alright, I think we're here. I think that's where I was originally heading. Alright, so yeah, I think we're about here-ish, so now we need to start moving on down there. So, like I said when we got started today, this is a slower project. Not like paint, you're not gonna have a fully finished piece unless you're working small, like in one sit down. Like, it'll take a while. But I have found that, like, usually your sewing or your fiber arts tend to take a little bit more time, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with going slower on a piece. Absolutely not. I actually kind of like the fact that this stuff goes a bit slower than some of the art mediums out there, because then I have time to step back and take a look at what we're doing. I'm gonna flip this upside down for just a minute. Well, maybe more than a minute. I want to look at this bottom edge, or this top edge, a little bit more closely. And it's easier since we're, you know, halfway down the edge here. It's going to be easier to look at. Don't be afraid to turn your stuff. No one said ever that you're not allowed to turn your piece. I've known some people that paint entirely upside down. Like, I don't know if I could. I would have to flip it around at times. I don't think I could do an entire piece start to finish upside down. So we do have a bit of that off the edge there. Hence the weird needle action there. But no, I like that this goes a little bit slower. You can just kind of zone out and just kind of think about your hand motions and what you're doing and where you want things to go next and all that happy stuff. Alright, so that's a bit... Why do I... Really? I have a piece of glitter. I have a piece of glitter. If I had a glitter alarm or a glitter alert button, we would totally hit it. Why? I can't tell you the last time I used glitter. Wait, actually I might be able to. I think it was last December, to be perfectly honest, when I was making the flamingo ornaments for our tree. We had a couple extra dollars, so I picked up some wood cutout flamingos from this really cool website. They had all kinds of different wood shapes on it, and the prices were pretty good. I think they were out of Texas. Not sponsored. They were decent quality. They came in one piece. They had multiple different sizes. I was fairly happy with them. But I had coated them in glitter. It wasn't the glitter I wanted, though. I really wanted that really ultra fine t-shirt diamond dust glitter. And I know there's a diamond dust type glitter that's clear. I think what I'm talking about is different, though. I don't even know if they still make it. Because, you know, the whole, not really controversy, but the whole thing with glitter being, or realizing that glitter is bad for the environment. At least the traditional made glitter. But there are some glitters starting to be made that I've seen some art vloggers, art YouTubers use that's plant-based. That's starting to become a thing. Which I found kind of interesting. I don't know how that works. I think it's a little bit more expensive. Because I would imagine the process would be a bit more involved. But I don't know, though. I haven't purchased any myself, so I don't know how much of it's out there or still in existence. But I'm kind of perturbed that there is a piece of glitter on my felting mat. Where did this come from? Where did this come from, and why are you here, Glitter Eye Joe? Why? I have not used glitter in eons. Alright. Quite the gap filter in here. We were putting that other piece in. That kind of surprised me. Ooh, so we're gonna try to make crusty bread rolls, like sandwich rolls, this week. I do not do that much baking, but we're gonna try. We'll see how they come out. I'll let you guys know on Twitter. that adventure. Like, I've done, like, cupcakes and brownies and cookies and stuff. Some from scratch, some from box mixes. But as far as doughy things go, I haven't done that many. So, this will be an adventure. Like, I can make pizza dough from scratch. And that was its own grand adventure. But it's always an adventure making doughy things, apparently, because humidity and all that, and never seems to come out exactly the same twice, which I find interesting, but that could just be me. Where did we leave off? Are we here? I think we're here. Just trying not to get too far ahead of myself. Alright, so we'll fill in this spot. And, thank you, person's bass. At least we can't hear the lyrics, because that could be a problem. The bass is bad enough, though. Like, don't you know I'm live streaming? If I get an effing DMCA, whatever the heck it is. I'm dyslexic, I can't get those letters in the right order half the time. I may have just done it that time on accident, though. But has that happened to anybody from, like, a car driving by their house? Where they weren't really paying attention to what was going on in the background? I'm curious. I mean, I could totally see it happening. And I wouldn't be surprised. Alright, so yeah, we definitely need to address this. Let's get this piece, because there's a section in there too. We'll get this guy sorted. And I'm sorry we're doing, you know, so much on the sky, but last week I was kind of just rushing through a little bit. And I actually had a bit of a migraine. Not a terrible one, but a slight one, or at least a headache, when we were streaming on Monday. So I feel like, so we need something here. Alright, so let's... Oh, we need more fluff. Okay, that's fine. We have a whole bag of it. So this was acrylic yarn at one point that, you know, we cut the strands on. I try to cut short strands. Try to get them close to the same size. And, then I take our sticker brush, and comb out the strands gently. And you want to treat it like you're trying to detangle a small child's hair or even your hair. So you want to go slow and start it the tips and then work your way up the strand. And then that will probably be a little bit less of a headache for you to do it that way. So we might need to add another little piece right in there. I'll know for sure in another minute or two here. We will see how that goes. Now, I do find it fascinating that he didn't put any clouds in on this one. Because there's been plenty of times where a lot of the sky gets covered, but he still puts the clouds in. And he didn't do that on this one. So, I mean, it might be because of the percentage of the cloud, or the percentage of the sky that's showing. Because these trees really do take up quite a bit of real estate. When all is said and done here. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna put in a little bit more fluff, just a small piece. Right here. Oh, so good news. I guess it's good news. Sort of good news. The felt squares that I got from Walmart do seem to be true to their 9x12 size, because I was reorganizing my project bins because they had kind of gotten out of hand a little bit the other night, and the cat dumped a container of liquid that flew everywhere, and I was like, oh no, all of the supplies. So I had to quick check on everything and make sure everything was still okay. I had forgotten that I had picked a few up from Walmart. Not many, just a couple. They weren't that expensive, so I was like, let's see what the Walmart version does. And I threw the ruler down to do something, or husband asked me for one real quick, and it was sitting on top of the Walmart squares, and I just kind of looked and I was like, oh, I'll be damned. So if we do 8 inches across, we'll actually have a small border. So yay. So that means I can either just continue to keep pushing through with the wonky edges on these guys, or make the projects on this felt a little bit smaller and try to get some more from Walmart that's the proper size and stick with the 8x10s on those. I only picked up 3 and they were all in black because I was like, well, I can, mess around with these for something else, and so I'm not sure what I want to do with all that. I know it's a little disorienting because it looks like we're doing the bottom of the piece here at the moment, but this is actually the sky. I just have it flipped upside down so I can see it better, and so I'm not overextending my arm at the moment. Oh, there we go. I was a little off frame. Maybe not entirely, but okay. Yeah, that's not looking too bad. Okay, so now, you okay?
Looks like I'm getting dinner for my birthday. Because I started cooking my soup and it wasn't smelling right. So.
I know the onions smell very strong.
Actually, the onions smelled very weak. It's one of the
Really?
things that was off-putting.
To me, they smell
I
strong.
think it was just either a different species that shouldn't have been there, or I don't know, maybe it was an old onion I didn't realize, but yeah, that's not happening, so.
So what you getting?
I don't know yet, I gotta talk to her.
Oh, okay. He has a lot of trouble with food. And, his anxiety and stuff. So, if it even smells just the slightest bit different, he has trouble where he can't eat it. So, getting him to eat is a challenge at times. I think he went a full, I don't know if it was a full year, it might have been close to it, where he was eating nothing but toast. So that's why we don't always eat the same stuff, because he can't always bring himself to eat what I've made, so we stopped worrying about me feeding him. And he just kind of worries about cooking for himself, and sometimes I will make something that he wants.
I didn't realize that college starts tomorrow.
I thought it already started. I thought there was already a Hawks game last night.
No. Anyhow, so I'm not going no further than Farmington.
Okay.
I might just go to McDonald's. I don't know yet. You want anything?
Go to Dairy Queen and get yourself a Blizzard, because I'm not sure if McDonald's is going to be successful.
I'm not sure if anything's going to be successful, but I want real food, so.
Okay. I don't know, because I don't want to take all of your birthday money, and I have food.
No, she's buying it for me. Separately.
Oh.
Like she did for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
recognize that you've got food, so you may not want much, but I didn't know if you just want some fries or something. not, then no. It's okay. You don't have to.
Can you get a chicken nugget that I can split with the boys?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I can work up my reserve.
Just so that I can, I'm gonna have a couple and then I'll give the rest to them. Sorry, guys. So yeah, sometimes he has trouble eating. Even toast can be a challenge some days. But sometimes when I cook, he'll nibble at something. It's kind of funny because there'll be times I'm like, now, do you want any of this? And he's like, no. And I'm like, you sure? Because I can make a little extra and just eat it myself or save it for tomorrow. And I'll be like, no. And then I'll finish cooking. I'm like, do you want a bite? And he's like, I don't know, maybe. And then, like, I'll end up giving him, like, half of it, so. Sometimes. Not all the time. But it's been a rough weekend for food for him. Plus we're a little extra stressed because he has a call with disability, with one of the doctors from disability coming up on the 30th, where they are going to interview him themselves. So we're a little stressed over that coming up. Because we're already on appeal for him. And we've got the lawyer. And the lawyer's aware that we have this call coming up. And we're supposed to get an email the end of the week with instructions for it. He could have done an in-person, but I don't know if he would have made it to the in-person appointment. With how troublesome leaving can be sometimes. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Right now we're just kind of like, all right, let's get this email for the instructions for the call and the passwords and stuff to get into the call. I think that should be next week. And I completely forgot that this week is the parental's anniversary. Don't have anything for them. Kind of barely have stuff for ourselves, so. A happy anniversary will have to do. I really couldn't remember if it was today or if it's Tuesday. I don't know why today's date kept kicking up in my brain. Like, I don't think it's today. But today kept kicking back like it had some sort of significance, and I'm like, I don't know what today would be. Like, part of me feels like it would be the only reason for that date to kick back up. There's so much stuff like right around each other in this entire month for us. It's hard to keep track of it all. Alright, so for those just coming in, I am just filling in any little gaps or thin spots from last week. Just getting that all tidied up and filled in, because I don't know exactly where our tree line is going to sit and like how tall the trees are going to be or anything, and all that good stuff. So I would rather just come in and get that sorted this way. Sorry, I was looking over here. It felt like, or it looked like, there was a bit of a thin spot over in here. It's probably just my imagination. But it's the third time I've looked at that spot directly, so I feel like maybe we're better off just kind of slapping something in there. Alright, again, I am just reflattening the back here. This is not something you have to do if you don't want to, but I find it helps keep the front a little bit smoother, a little bit flatter. Alright, now grab this. I've got a thin spot right in here that I can see. Be careful. What's up? Wallet?
Yep.
Love you. And I looked up and I lost where we were stabbing. Oh no. Okay. Alright. Oh, there's some fluff off the back that got away. That's fine. Okay. So, I mean, it's you can see where we've put our patches in on top and stuff, but I think once we get the trees in, that'll be fine, right? I mean, you're gonna see it. It's just how it goes. Alright, where are we at here? I think we're about in here. That's where I feel like we're at, so we're almost done filling in the gaps on the sky. And when we get that done, then we're gonna start to put in our foreground. Well, not the foreground, but like the next layer. Now I was kind of, I don't know if hesitant's the right word. I'm still a little unsure of what color we're gonna grab for the next part, because he has that liquid white down, right? So there's not a lot of it, but it is there. And so because there is that bit of white down, any color that touches it, even if it's a dark color, is going to come off as a little bit lighter because of that white adjusting or lightening the shade that's being put on top of it. So he makes a dark color, but when he puts it on, it doesn't look dark. It's definitely lighter than like a base Van Dyke brown. But hold on a second, guys. 1 minute. Alright, sorry about that. So, when he puts it on, it's not really a Van Dyke brown. He does use Van Dyke brown, but when he puts it up there, it's like a few shades lighter, right? And it's not like in the tree portion, you'll see when we get up to that point, it's not really like a camel brown or like a camel tan, but it's not like a Van Dyke brown either once it gets all the colors mixed in, and I'm just like, ugh, I don't know if I have a shade for this. I might have to dig through the roving bags to see if there's a brown in there that I think will work, that I have enough of. When he starts to put in the ground, the base color of the brown, the ground, I guess we'll say, that looks kind of like camel, like a camel color. So, and I have that. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. But it's when he starts using colors and then relies on the white of that liquid white that he puts on there to manipulate it a little bit, then things start to get a little bit tricky. But I mean, it doesn't have to be exact. I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do, because there's definitely sections of Van Dyke brown down in the bottom portions. So I was like, well, I mean, we could go Van Dyke, but then I don't know. And then I was like, well, maybe we could go like really dark hunter green and then just fill in with the other colors. And because he does do some tree trunks, and but that brown tone, it's like a dead leaf brown. That's like the only way I can describe this color. As he puts it in, because he starts putting in like fall colors on the trees, and I think it would lose a bit of itself if we hit it up with the bright green shades and things. I don't know. I mean, if that's what you want to do, then go for it. If you want your trees to be like pink and purple and I don't know, polka dots, then, you know, that's what you want. But I am trying to sort of follow the tutorial as best as we can with the materials I have at hand. And I was thinking of grabbing that in-between shade of brown, but that just didn't happen this time. Oh. Where are you? There you are. That was a piece of my hair. Say that doesn't need to be in there. Okay. So yeah, I mean we're not doing too bad here. We're about over in here with our adjustments that we're making. All right. Whew. I'll tell you, that arm is really sore. Doing this doesn't bother it for some reason, but like anything where I have to keep moving my arm around and like twisting it and stuff, I am feeling every bit of that. Well, no, that's not a lot. That's a lie. If I get a little too vigorous with my arm, then I'm feeling it when I'm doing the needle stabbing here, but so long as I don't get too vigorous with it. I swear, only I could injure myself brushing yarn. It's not like I fell over one of the dogs or I was lifting a bunch of heavy shit. No, I was literally sitting in my chair. I was injured sitting down. Like, oh my goodness. I mean, I know it's been a little while since we fluffed yarn, but probably like an overuse injury or something. We'll have to keep an eye on it if it doesn't start to sort itself. In a week or so, we'll have to call the insurance company back and see if they ever changed my date of birth like we were arguing with them about. Because I really don't think their solution that they told me to use is correct. And I feel like somebody down the line's gonna be like, yo, this doesn't match, we're not paying for it. And I don't want to get nailed and have to fight them with it. Because we called the insurance company. They're like, oh, well, you signed up for this through the insurance marketplace. You're gonna have to talk to them. And then after you talk to them, they'll notify us, and then we'll correct it in our system. And I was thinking I would get a new insurance card, and I didn't. And we did contact the marketplace. It took us a couple tries, but we did get a hold of them. And Russell was dealing with them. I gave the okay that he can talk to them. And he was on the phone with them for like 10 minutes, and they're like, oh, okay. And they're like, yeah, we'll notify the insurance company in like a week or two. And I'm like, okay. Never heard anything back. And that was a couple of months ago. So I don't know if they were just talking out their ass about notifying the insurance company or what. But someone's solution was, in the meantime, until it gets corrected in the computer system, just tell them to use the wrong date of birth. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no. And because I'm like, in the back of my mind, and what if somebody down the road, when they're doing their billing through the insurance company, decides, hey, these date of births don't match, so you're gonna have to pay for all that. Be like, no, your people told me that this was a typo, and I never caught it till recently when I tried to see if the insurance would cover the oral surgery I was gonna need. The dentist office is like, well, we can run it and see. The worst it's gonna say is no. And I was like, alright. And then they were on the phone with them, and I'm like, they're like, is this your date of birth? And I'm like, yeah. But the husband signed us up, so I think he put in his year by accident. And it was just a typo that we just never caught till now, because I haven't really had to use it. Alright, I'm just trying to keep our horizon line. I mean, we're gonna lose that horizon line at some point anyway, but it doesn't mean that I want it to get too crooked. Although that's a little wonky, but that should be alright. Okay. Well, I thought it was going to be alright. I have to keep telling myself, oh, there's going to be trees there. You're not going to see that much of that, so. Alright. I am amazed at how far the skeins of yarn are going that I purchased to fluff, because we still have a good amount. And I'm especially pleased with the new yarn. So the new yarn we picked up was I got it from Lovecraft, and it is Paintbox Simply Chunky. I've not used the Simply Chunky before. It's a little bit thicker, hence the chunky name, than the big twist stuff that I picked up from Joann's. But that's kind of working in our favor, because those balls of yarn are about, the paint box ones are about 80-ish yards less than the big twist ones, but they were a couple dollars cheaper too. So I was worried what size they were gonna be, because when I was originally looking on Amazon, you know, they show you a close-up of the yarn, right? But if anybody has shopped with Amazon for any real amount of time, you know to scroll through the pictures and the reviews to see if anybody took a picture of what the item actually looks like in their hand to gauge the size of it. And a lot of like the multi-packs of different colored yarns from them were very, very small, like palm size small, and I was like, oh, that's not very much, is it? So I was a little concerned with the size they were going to be, because I had not purchased from this company before. But I have to say, I am pleased so far. And the shipping debacle was not on their end. It was not their fault. It was quite possibly our mailman's fault. I mean, the yarn did take a slightly roundabout way to get here, but they were also using a third-party courier service, I guess we'll call them, to hook up with the post office, I think, in Dallas. But the tracking started to get funky after Dallas, Texas, because come to find out, I didn't know this because my mom usually gets the mail. We hadn't gotten mail in like a week, and I'm like, what do you mean we didn't get mail in a week? Nobody's gonna call the post office. We never not get mail. Like, what is happening? So finally got a hold of somebody at the post office, and they're like, oh, there's a hold on your mail. It says do not deliver. And we're like, no. We didn't do that. And Russell went down to talk to somebody at the counter about what my tracking was saying. And they're like, oh yeah, you have a temporary mail carrier right now because your original one's out for surgery or something, for medical. So, the new person, for some reason, I guess, couldn't get to the mailbox. Could have been like a recycling truck or something blocking it, and they didn't want to wait, so they marked in the computer, no access to your mailbox. And usually when they do that, the next day they'll lift it when they come by, and this person forgot to. And, yeah. So they put a hold on our mail that we didn't know about. I'm like, oh, that's not cool. That's really not cool. But we got that rectified, and that afternoon, actually, the yarn showed up. So it was like, yay! Alright, so just a couple more thin spots in here, and then maybe there, and then maybe there, and then we'll be looking pretty decent on the blue, for now at least. I've got fluff flying everywhere. Where's all this fuzz coming from? And then, you know, I start needle felting, and I'm like, oh, right. Probably where all the fluff is coming from. That would make sense. So we try to keep an eye on my computer's air intakes and exits to make sure nothing's getting blocked. Let me try to, because I mean the tower is like right behind my monitor, so you know we're kind of close to it, but just to make sure nothing's getting a little too fuzzy in there. Thank you. Everybody's loud cars are out today. You know, I actually thought university students started back last weekend, because I'd seen somebody post something about a Hogs game, and I thought it was last night that they were talking about, asking if anybody was going. Although, I mean, I guess the kids would have been back and moved in by then, but maybe it was like preseason or something. I don't know. I don't keep up with the sporty things all that much. I don't have time. I used to follow horse racing really closely, but or at least moderately closely, but I just don't have the time. I haven't been able to really follow it well in several years. I occasionally dip into a couple of horse racing news websites here and there to see what's going on, and so occasionally see some stuff, but not quite like I used to. Again, sorry, I'm trying to keep my arm relatively close to me. Because I really didn't want to skip today, because it's not like a one-day thing. Or if I don't do anything for a day, I'm gonna be fine. I can already tell that. It kind of reminds me of when I rolled my ankle. It's similar to discomfort. And that, not as bad as when I rolled my ankle, but it definitely reminds me of that same sort of tight, angry feeling. So we're just gonna gently do what we need to do. And there's no way I could do this left-handed. My left hand has been trained to hold things. Sometimes open a container, but that's getting a little wild and crazy. My left hand is just for decoration most of the time. Like, I can do some menial tasks. That's the word I want. But, you know, you start asking it to perform. Like, we could do this, but that's very awkward for me. And I feel like it would actually be more work for the other hand, having to hold stuff in place and whatnot. Because it's so dumb. Because my hand itself doesn't hurt. It is my problem hand. Like, it's the bad hand's arm that's fucked up at the moment, but my hand doesn't hurt. It's crazy. I'm so used to my hand hurting or my wrist hurting. Nope, not this time. It's my actual arm. Because of course it is. Alright. Just got like 2 more spots that I just want to do one pass on, and then I will go grab our camel. Or, well, we'll advance the thingy. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm thinking camel for the base, but... Alright, let's see here. Like, I feel like this spot right in here, right? I feel like we're a little bit thin. Yeah, we are just a little bit. Not grotesquely, but a little bit. Alright. Sounds like my neighbor's coming out to do something. I don't know if he's going to work. Or what? Sorry, I noticed our edge got a little wonkified in there, so thought I would try to clean that up just a little bit. I was actually toying with getting some felt by the yard, but I don't know if they do felt by the yard. I know they do fleece. Cat, what are you doing? Don't be knocking stuff over where I can't see you. Oh, I heard something go thud. I don't know what it was. They're like battling over, sitting on top of the tank that we have the crabs in. They don't want to see the crabs, they just want to sit up there. Probably because it's warm up there. Although I don't think we have the hot pad on right now. Okay, so I don't know. Do I really need to fill in that spot? I don't think we do. I think that's good. Okay. So there's our sky with its second coat. So let me tuck our blue back in its bag. And I've changed where, like I said in the beginning of the stream, where the bags of fluff are kept. So I'm gonna have to get, that was really uncomfortable trying to close the sandwich bag. So I'm gonna have to get up to go get the other color. Maybe, we'll see. Alright, so let's advance the tutorial. See, here he is making that dark color. He's doing that Van Dyke brown and sap green and the alizarin crimson. So it almost has like a burnt sienna feel to it, especially as he works down, and then it kind of takes on like that light camel color. Thank you, loud vehicle. So I mean, as you can see, some of it comes up, like that tree comes up to the top edge, and then it kind of like dips down a little bit, and then he's got another one that's not quite to the top over here. I mean, I'm not sure if I put in enough sky. I feel like we did. And then he just kind of starts going crazy with this brown color. And because it's mixing with the liquid white, I mean, you can see hints of like the dead grass green in there. It's like the only way I can describe it. It just, it's not like the deeper rich Van Dyke brown. So I'm at a slight loss here of what color to use, because I just don't know. I'm just kind of like, I don't know here, Bob. What you doing? All right, and then he's gonna start adding in tree trunks here. So let me. Dang it, too slow one-handed. All right, so yeah, like I feel like the camel's gonna be a little light, but maybe not. Maybe we need 2 different shades of brown in this top, but I don't know. Let me see what I've got in the roving color, right? So if I can get it out of here. The one cat was insisting on sitting on top of the art stuff, so I mean, we definitely have some browns in here. Like this is sort of like a grayish brown. Alright, we're gonna make a fluff mess here. Don't know where that bag... Oh, that's probably the bag that belongs to. That's more of a gray. They give you like these tiny ass little floss bags that they crammed these little guys into. Sorry, I can usually do that a lot easier, but that hurt. We've got this brown, which is slightly darker than that one. More of a cream. I did pick up some of these colors, I think, in the paint box yarn. Some of them look familiar, like this kind of looks like the melon sherbet I picked up. This is more like a burnt sienna. That's red. Sorry. I'm trying, you guys. Really fucked my arm up here. That's kind of like a brown color. I don't really have these separated out. Some of these kind of look like duplicates. It's like a reddish brown. Like a dark reddish brown. So, and the cat tried to chew the end of this bag open. He loves this plastic. Alright. Is that like all the... It's more like a light skin tone. I think that's like the third one of that color that I pulled out. Maybe? There's another set. Oh no, that has a bag. Well, that kind of feels like maybe close to our dead grass color, maybe. See, he's gonna come back in though. So I don't like. if you can see the tiny square at the end, it kind of takes on a bit of a greenish tone to the grass around it, so I'm kind of like, I don't really know if he covers half of the trees in the background too, so I'm probably driving myself nuts for no reason. Because those two trees he plops down in the front kind of obscure everything. Alright, let me see about putting these colors back in the bag here as best as we can. Now I know I picked up similar colors to this in the stuff that I bought, but there just wasn't that much here to do, like maybe more than 1 or 2 projects in the sample colors. So yeah, like these 3 colors actually look pretty, well, maybe not that one, but some of these look like duplicates. So, I mean, we kind of have to figure out what color we want to go with here. I'm not sure, because, I mean, I know that top was kind of dark, so maybe maybe we go with like this color, right? Looks a little reddish for our shadows and stuff, and then maybe we can like mix this with the camel further down, perhaps. Because I mean, it's not paint, so it's not gonna blend. And like my camel color is like similar, like a cross between these 2 shades, like this one and this one, so oh, that is pretty dark. Yeah, okay, we'll try that one. We'll try this one. We'll see how it goes. And then I'll probably end up like doing the camel on the tree trunks in the back. Sort of deal. Oh, get in there. Squishy yarn doesn't want to squish. Okay. So this stuff feels very different than the acrylic yarn. This is the roving. This is like the wool. The expensive version that I got a multi-pack of. And I mean, I could just keep buying the multi-packs of roving, but I don't want to run out of a color. So that's why I'm hesitant to do that. Alright. Let's see here. So we kind of want this a little bit airy, wispy to an extent. So this one kind of, it does seem really reddish though now that I've got this on here, doesn't it? Well, I mean, he did put alizarin crimson in there, so I mean, probably can probably make it work. All right. So the roving is gonna be a bit more coarse depending on the brand of roving, I should say that this roving from the sample, like 50 or whatever colors I got, this stuff's a bit coarser than the acrylic yarn. It definitely feels more scratchy. But I also have roving from a different company, and that roving is super soft and fluffy. So I think it just kind of depends on the type of roving it is, because there's different brands. Which is probably an indication of different ways that they process it, or maybe it's different species of sheep. You know, I don't know. But this stuff feels like wet, not wet. It feels like Barbie doll hair that's been in the bathtub. And I know that's a really odd descriptor, but anybody that's ever taken a doll or toy that had some kind of hair on it, like a My Little Pony or like some kind of like Barbie type doll, into the bathtub to play with, because oh, it's like plasticky rubber, it'll be fine. You know, by like the third or fourth go of that, the hair's like, feels like it's been through a war. So I'm just trying to get like a wispy suggestion. Of you know, like tree shadows, I guess, would be the phrasing I'm looking for here. But it doesn't, like, I don't want it to be solid here. Like, not really. I have found that the sample, this multicolor sample roving pack that I got from Amazon, it's definitely coarser, it's definitely fuzzier, frizzier. So that's what this reminds me of. I know it seems crazy after we just did all of that extra layering to be coming back in and basically covering all of that up, but like I said, I didn't really know where my trees and stuff were going to sit fully. And then, you know, you're stabbing through everything again, and the base is going to be pulled in different directions again, so it's just better to do it right the first time. So we don't have to worry about trying to fix it around other things later. I mean, we still might have to add in a patch of blue here and there if stuff gets pulled a little too thin. But for the most part, we'll see how we did. If we got that that layer of blue down there pretty solid. Alright. A little bit more of this fuzz. So how far down does he take that? So, I mean, it kind of comes down to remember, I'm just grabbing some of the fibers and scraping them around, not actually sticking the needle in until you see my hand go in. Because if you stick in and drag, you're gonna snap the needle. Do remember that. All right. Okay, so that's a very odd looking tree so far, but you know, it's just kind of the background suggestion of our tree. So I stretched everything out trying to pull that guy up there. Alright, so he could use a little more help here. Okay. So, he's kind of like shadowy all over the place here, so fill him in a bit more.
Should I put yours away in the fridge or?
What did you end up getting?
Nuggets.
From where? You didn't say.
McDonald's.
Okay. No, don't put them in the fridge.
Right. No, they're all in the kitchen.
Actually, if you want to bring me a couple now, just hold me till we're done. Or, you know, we could start wrapping up. Let me just finish this tree. Because we do have some other things we need to do tonight, so. That, and I probably shouldn't press my luck here, so. Alright. So we're just gonna work on getting our shape of our tree in. And I think we're gonna pause there for today. And I think we're streaming tomorrow. if that changes, I will let you know on Twitter, so make sure that you're following there. This will start to make more sense once we get everything worked in here, but yeah, so we've got that going, and we'll pick up with this tomorrow. So it's nice that we've got 2 art days in a row, so I don't feel quite as pressured to get as much done in one day. So yeah, I think we'll keep going with this dark color for the tops in here, and then as we get into here we might mix this with some of our camel color and just kind of, you know, vary it on the down section here. But I don't know if I want to take some of the camel and mix it in at the top, but I mean, I don't know. I think we'll be okay. I don't even know how much of the background tree shapes are gonna come through once we start getting the leaves on them and stuff. We'll see. But that'll be it for today. Thank you guys for popping in. Appreciate that. I will hope to see you tomorrow around 4 p.m. Central, unless I get up early. If I get up early, then we'll start early. But yeah, so I hope you guys are having fun with this. I hope you guys give it a try. You don't necessarily have to follow Bob Ross. You can do whatever. But yeah, if you are working on any cool art projects, even if you're just messing around, feel free to tag me on Twitter or on Insta. I think you can tag people on Insta, I'm not sure. But, you know, Twitter at least. And I will see you all tomorrow. So until then, have a good one.